Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So we will present about the project part 1, which is becoming the network security architect. So for this project part 1, we need to study the case scenario based on the network diagram. We need to analyze the network diagram using our own knowledge, which is in network security, to find where the hacker will entry to attack the system. So our group name Error404. In this group consists of three member, which is Amir, Syakirin, which is me, Aiman, Fitri, the second member, and the last member is Amirul, Haziq. And then for the first entry point, the hacker can enter from the VPN. To be more specific, this VPN is the VPN that we cannot be trusted. And then because using not trusted VPN, it can lead to the vulnerabilities, which is DNS leak. So a bad actor, which is hacker, could be able to track your online activity if DNS requests you may are not likewise controlled by the VPN. So the hacker can use it to attack the system. So next, the recommendation for to solve the vulnerabilities is to use the VPN that can be trusted. As we can see at the previous slide, this picture, which is Express VPN, it can be trusted because it's really known to be the first one in the world. And then to test a VPN on your network, we need to run DNS and WebRTC leak test on dnsleaktest.com and ExpressVPN website respectively. Using these two websites, we can detect whether the VPN is really good or not. And then we move to the second entry. The second entry point, which is the hacker can enter from the Wi-Fi. So we put the example here. The example for the hardware, which is Wi-Fi GFQA link system E2500. So the CVE number for this entry, for this attack, which is CVE 2018 3955. So the vulnerabilities for this hardware, which is this device can be completely controlled if specially crafted entries to network configuration information cause the execution of arbitrary system command. This flaw can be exploited by sending an authenticated HTTP request. So the hackers will send the HTTP request. So the recommendation for to solve the vulnerabilities, which is changing password Wi-Fi regularly. So based on my research, I found that the best way to change password is 3 or 6 month one time. So another 6 month we need to change it with a very strong password and really different password than previous password. I will pass to the next presenter.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Amir bin Kamarudin. I will present the entry point for the third, fourth, and fifth. For the third entry point, we found that the entry point for the hackers that might be happen is Toshiba SATA C1X100, where this is vulnerable, where the cyber attackers can use the voicemail system to they can hack the voicemail system and program it so they can use the voicemail system for them to make individual calls. So actually, the company that been hacked from this voicemail system need to pay for the bills from the hackers that call by using the voicemail system of this company. So it is recommended for the company or the government to double check the deeds to make sure that they don't have a DISA enabled on a number. Next, for the next entry point for the hackers is the server itself, which is the HPE Pure Lion DL380 generation 10 plus. So from the developer itself. It been list up the possible vulnerabilities is the input validation error, the improper access control, and also the improper initialization. From the producer of this server itself, they suggested for the buyers that use this server to constantly upgrade the software and the operating system of this server. So when they always update and upgrade the system, so it will be all the bugs has been fixed, and all the antivirus and many more has been upgrade the latest version. Next, for the fifth entry point is the Ethernet. So Ethernet can be possibly the possibility to the hackers is quite hard, because Ethernet can lead to the vulnerabilities such as Ethernet switch spoofing, address resolution protocol LRP spoofing, and many more. So to tackle this issue, it is suggested to implement a strong security measures such as encryption, firewalls, and also the access control. So this is done so we can prevent unauthorized access to the business networks. So I will pass the screen to the next presenter. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Amir Haziq. So I will present about the next entry point, which is Sonic Wall TZ200 or 205. So this Sonic Wall provide a comprehensive security feature to protect network from various threats such as malware, virus, interaction attempts, and unauthorized access. However, it's important to be aware of potential entry point that attacker could exploit to launch attacks. So there are some vulnerabilities from this appliance, which is duplicate firmware, where uh, the firmware of or software running on the Sonic Wall appliance is not up to date, so it could contain vulnerabilities that attacker can exploit it. So the second one is remote code execution, which is this remote code execution allow an attacker to execute arbitrary code on a remote system or device. So the next vulnerability is denial of services, uh, where DOS attack could potentially target the device itself or the network infrastructure protected by the device. So, for example, like a distributed denial of service attack could exploit vulnerability in web application behind the Sonic Wall appliance and rendering them inaccessible. So our recommendation to enhance its security. So it's recommended to follow the best practice such as keeping the firmware and software up to date and using authentication mechanism, employing network segmentation regularly auditing configuration and implementing a layered approach to security. Okay, so other entry point for the attacker can launch any attack for the network is the Sonic Wall NSA 3500. So this Sonic Wall is a network security appliance that provides advanced security features, including protection against various types of attacks. However, the vulnerabilities for this hardware is internet switch spoofing, which is a technique used by malicious actors to deceive network device by impersonating the MAC, which is media access control address of another device on the network. And the second one is address resolution protocol, which is known as ARP spoofing. So this vulnerability is a type of network attack where an attacker sends fake ARP message on a local area network. So this function is to associate their own MAC address with the IP address of other network device. So this allows the attacker to intercept and manipulate network traffic, but that potentially leading to unauthorized access, data interception, or denial of services. So our recommendation for this entry point is upgrade to NSA 2000 2700, which is a Gen 7 firewall, which is this firewall is the latest generation of network security appliance designed to provide advanced threat protection and secure connectivity for modern network. And it's also maintaining the latest uh, firmware updates and follow recommended security best practice provided by SonyWall to ensure the highest level of protection against ARP spoofing and other security vulnerabilities. So this is some references our group to complete this assignment. And for the conclusion part, in conclusion, addressing in the entry points for attacker to launch attacks require a multi-layer approach. So the network vulnerability can be mitigated through using VPN that can be trusted, changing password regularly, double check the IDs to make sure that don't have this DISA enabled, and constantly upgrade the software and the operating system, implement strong security measures such as encryption, firewalls, and access control, and then updating the latest firmware and upgrade to the latest firewall technology. I think that's all from us. Thank you.